Hi, my name is Fernando Caracciolo. We're Cerveceria Desobediente. We're located in Cholula, Puebla, which is just a short stone throw away from Mexico City.
Hi, welcome to another Beer Fest. This week, as you've heard, we have Fernando from Cerveceria Desobediente, and I apologize immediately for my Spanish here. They're a small Mexican brewery, located, if my map is correct, pretty close to Mexico City, so pretty much in the center. It's a very interesting story. Fernando, as you'd hear, has actually came to brewing as from a totally different career, and so he's bootstrapped the whole thing, and they're very much at the stage of local brewery, but with some big ambitions, I think. It's a good story, good chat. Actually, one of the things is that off the thing that we didn't discuss on kind of on microphone, Fernando's wife actually went to school in East Cork for a year, so he has a big interest in Ireland and Irish beers, and just goes to show it's a small old world, isn't it? Anyway, I won't hold you any longer. Let's go over to Fernando and let's talk beer. Hey, Fernando, thanks for joining me today. I was wondering if we could start off with maybe you can just explain what you actually do in the brewery.
My role in the brewery, I'm founder along with my wife, and I manage the whole brewery. I'm responsible from everything from sweeping the floors to brewing beer, selling, collecting, and paying taxes.
Can you tell me a little bit about the brewery itself? Where did it come from? What was the inspiration behind it?
So, the story of the brewery. I have a background in law. I'm, as you might call, a solicitor. I'm a lawyer. So, that's completely unrelated to making beer. However, I was a little fed up with what my life choices were taking me, and I wasn't enjoying my line of work. And I got the opportunity in 2017 to start a business idea I had, brewing, no pun intended, or maybe it was. It was brewing for the last few 5 years while I started, getting disenchanted with the lawyer stuff. So that's when it started. I got the opportunity, as in I got laid off. So that's when I decided to just dive right in and make a brewery. There's no outside investment, so I had to finance everything myself and with the help of my wife. And that's how we started. We're a really, really small brewery. We have a one BBL system. That's part of the reason is the no outside investment.
And did you start with your own premises, or did you contract brew somewhere else, or what was your initial setup really?
We started brewing in our kitchen. So yeah, we made our kitchen. We adapted the kitchen and a spare room to the side where we kept our pantries. We made some adaptations to it, and that's how we started. I eventually rented a kitchen. That didn't work for long because I was sharing rent with a couple of friends, and as of the moment, I'm still brewing at home, but we have a spare area dedicated to it, which must be around 30, 40 square meters. So it's big enough for our site.
Sounds like it must have been pretty physically challenging to get the design to get the brewery actually set up in a space, with what equipment you had and be able to brew at what is still a commercial scale.
Since we started really, really small with a really limited budget, I had to come up with a brewery design. So basically, what I did was went to a restaurant supply place, an industrial restaurant supply place, and bought the biggest pots I could get, and made some adaptations to get the fittings and design the sorry about that, and design the workflow. I do a Herms system, which was really new to me because before that I was doing the basic homebrew system with a carboy and a water cooler. And well, in the production side, the main challenge was temperature control, either cooling the wort before getting it on the fermenter. I started just with an immersion cooler, but that took ages. And I switched over to a counterflow chiller, and that's what I'm currently using. Still haven't gone the plate chiller way because I'm a little hesitant on getting it stuck with hop material because I don't really have a good filtration outside my brew kettle.
How did you come up with the name?
And the name Desobediente, disobedient, we were looking for something that reflected, the what you might call it, revolutionary state of mind that Mexico has, and the changes in the craft brewery scene. So we're going against everything, against set rules. So yeah, we kind of do our own thing.
And what's the beer scene like in the country generally? Is it is it pretty consistent, or is it going through a lot of changes in that, or does it differ from place to place as well? I suppose it's hard to kind of um, summarize it all and that, but just a general overview. What's it like?
It's going through a lot of changes. There's a lot of small breweries like myself. Some of them even smaller. I don't know how they make business. They're popping up all of a sudden. Some of us are still going strong, or still going. But there's also quite a few bigger projects. There's a lot of people investing in making beer, so it's getting a little competitive at the moment. With COVID, a lot of people thought it would be a good idea and a way to get rich fast, and they discovered it's not that easy, and you won't get rich fast, but it's a good living. So a lot of breweries just popped up and disappeared almost immediately. But it's been a challenge.
With that level of competition from not only all the small breweries you mentioned, but like there are some really big brands there. How do you compete against them?
Doesn't really matter how big, what kind of investment you have, what kind of marketing you're doing. I believe as long as you make a good product, it will sell. It will sell, and the people will recognize that what you're doing is something good. So that's how we keep up with the big boys. We do a better product than them.
All right. Well, I guess it's good philosophy. So it brings us around to the beers themselves. Like, tell us about the beers you produce. Are they what are the styles? Are they very market driven? Is it stuff that you want to drink yourself? What inspires you to make those beers?
The styles I focus on. Funny enough, I like Irish beers. I have a red ale, an Irish red ale. You guys might just call it a regular red ale, and also a dry stout. But we do have some additions. We add Mexican chocolate to it, so it's a chocolate stout, but the base is an Irish stout, dry stout. I also have a pale ale, an IPA, and some seasonal brews. At the moment, I have a pumpkin ale on bottles, and there's a vanilla porter just brewing away in the fermenter. Styles I really want to. Oh, and I also have a Kolsch. That a few of the lighter beers are market driven.
Is there any style that you'd really love to brew that you haven't had the opportunity to do yet?
Just as every brewer, we all want to brew a really good lager. I know it sounds funny, but yeah, I do. I'm doing some experimenting with Kvike. No idea how it's called. Kvike yeast strains. So I might do a pseudo lager because we don't really have the temperature control system on our brewery. But that's a good option, and I currently also use Kvike for the rest of my line. So uh, Quebec does wonderful things for especially us in the tropical area near and with the kind of weather we get in Mexico.
And the beers themselves, like, where do people get them? Are they easily available? Do people have to search them out, or is it that when they, that they're in a specific bar that they're promoted there, or yeah, just how do you distribute them?
We're a small brewery, so that means we're really local. There's a local distribution in Cholula, Puebla, mainly restaurants, bars. I try to be a little picky with the type of restaurant or bar I do business with. So most of them are really, really good, chef-driven. What you might call it, experience restaurants or concept bars. I don't know. I'm just a little picky with who gets to sell my beers.
Did COVID have a big impact on that? Did it just slow you down, or did it bring in some significant changes in how you operate?
We did have to move over our distribution with COVID. So we started selling directly directly to the consumer. I was in charge of just driving up to people's houses and delivering beer. And you can find us online. We have a web page. There's not a lot of activity on it, but then again, Mexico's really not the place where people feel comfortable doing business online. And I'm not exporting yet, and I'm working slowly on getting a bigger distribution to so it can become from local to regional and slowly work my way back up.
Okay, so what's the biggest problem you face on a kind of on a daily basis, really, and running the brewery?
Getting paid. Yeah, I have he's a good friend. He was actually one of the best, maybe the first or the second client I got. He's got a really nice brew pub in Puebla City. But yeah, he's a little hesitant on paying, and I have to be on top of him just to get the last bill paid. And yeah, basically, it's getting paid in Mexico. There, I have few clients who pay up front, but most of it, I have to give credit because I can't really be picky with. Oh no, if you don't pay me upfront, I won't give you a beer. So I have to adapt to our clients to how they do business.
What do you think the future holds for the brewery?
And future plans for the brewery. There's there's something in the works. We might have to move cities. We might move over to the western coast. But that's on the works. We'll have to wait and see. And as for the a little more on the production side. Currently, our bottling system is completely manual, so I might get a small gravity-fed bottle filler, so I can at least fill 5 bottles at a time. Because I'm doing one at a time, and that takes a lot of time. But yeah, that's the craft brewery life, and that's what we love, and that's the kind of life we chose, and I wouldn't change it for anything. You can find us on Instagram. We're Cerveceria Desobediente or Desobediente Cerveceria. And Facebook. One is Cerveceria Desobediente and the other is Desobediente Cerveceria. I don't really remember which is which. And we're also on YouTube. Funny enough, we have some tutorials for the beginning home brewer. They're all in Spanish, however, but I try to make them as funny as I can. So if you're into just having a look into making beer or would like to hear me in talking in Spanish, you go ahead and go to YouTube. And besides that, as I mentioned, we do have a website. Forget the name, but it's just Google Cerveceria Desobediente and it should pop up.
Yeah, I want to say a huge thanks to Fernando for taking the time to tell me not only about the brewery, but to also kind of enlighten me about the beer scene in Mexico, which is another country I have very little beer knowledge of. So thanks a million for that. I've put all the links that he mentioned to the website and his Instagram and that. They're all in the show notes. So do check them out. And if you're hanging around Mexico City or anywhere around the region, try and search out the beers. It sounds like you put a lot of effort into them. They're really local and sound really worth checking out. Of course, we'll be back. I'm not sure what the schedule is for the next few weeks. We'll definitely have some more brewery profiles, and I'm trying to set up 1 or 2 live brewer chats before Christmas, but timing is just proving a bit difficult. I'm not sure if that will happen, but keep an eye out. We'll keep having these short profiles anyway. So do check us out, and of course, we'd love if you'd subscribe, if you'd leave a review, tell people about us. It would be most appreciated. So talk to you soon.